Most people think a heart attack comes out of nowhere, like a bolt of lightning striking unexpectedly, but that's not how it works. A heart attack is never a single moment, it is the culmination of years of choices, decisions, and habits that quietly shape the condition of your heart. Every meal you eat, every cigarette you smoke, every night you sacrifice sleep, every day you let stress go unchecked, these are not small, isolated moments. Each one is a tiny deposit in an invisible account inside your arteries, a slow accumulation that you cannot see, feel, or hear. Over time, these small deposits grow, forming blockages, inflammation, and weaknesses in your cardiovascular system. You might feel fine for years, telling yourself, "I'm young, I'm healthy, I exercise sometimes," but the truth is the damage is already happening. The problem is that we live in a world of convenience. We rely on fast food because it saves time, sugar because it tastes good, and energy drinks because we are exhausted. Convenience becomes a trap. You think a single burger or one late night won't matter, but the repetition of these small choices is exactly what reshapes your body from the inside. It's not the extraordinary events, it's the ordinary days stacked on top of each other that determine the health of your heart. The arteries, like a highway, can only handle so much before congestion and wear begin. Over time, the plaque builds, the walls thicken, and the blood flow slows. And because it's gradual, your body adapts silently. You feel okay, even as warning signs accumulate unnoticed. This is why lifestyle is more important than genetics or luck. Genes play a role, yes, but they cannot override the effects of your daily routine. Two people can have similar genes, but if one eats processed food, avoids exercise, and lives with chronic stress, while the other prioritizes natural foods, movement, and rest, their outcomes are completely different. Your heart is like a mirror reflecting every choice you make. Each skipped workout, each sugary snack, each stressful moment without relief is recorded in that mirror. It doesn't lie. The consequences may take years to show, but they are inevitable unless action is taken. Awareness is the first step. Understanding that heart health is not just a medical issue but a lifestyle issue shifts the power back to you. You are not helpless. Every decision you make has an immediate and long-term effect. Even small changes, choosing water over soda, walking instead of sitting, reducing processed foods, begin to undo the silent damage. Your heart is resilient, capable of repair and recovery if treated with care, but it requires consistency. Every day matters. There are no shortcuts, no miracle pills, no single moment of magic. Only your everyday choices determine whether your heart thrives or falters. Stress is one of the most overlooked causes of heart attacks, yet it silently shapes the state of your heart every single day. Most people think of stress as something temporary, something that only affects the mind or emotions, but chronic stress affects the body in ways that are far more dangerous than most realize. Every time you feel anxious, worried, or under pressure, your body releases hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones are designed to help you survive short-term threats, to give you energy to run, fight, or respond in critical moments. The problem is that modern life keeps these hormones constantly elevated. Work deadlines, financial pressures, family responsibilities, and even social expectations maintain a level of tension in your body that it was never meant to sustain. Your heart beats faster, blood pressure rises, arteries tighten, and over time, the constant strain weakens the cardiovascular system. Unlike a single stressful moment that passes, chronic stress becomes a slow poison. The arteries stiffen, plaque forms faster, and the heart muscle itself becomes more vulnerable. Many people mistake these effects as normal fatigue or aging, unaware that the root cause is psychological pressure that translates into physical damage. Stress doesn't just affect the heart directly, it also drives behaviors that worsen heart health. Under stress, people tend to overeat, consume more sugar, skip exercise, smoke, or rely on alcohol and caffeine to cope. Each of these choices amplifies the harm already being done by the elevated stress hormones. The combination of lifestyle decisions influenced by stress and the direct effects of hormones creates a perfect storm for heart attacks. What makes stress particularly dangerous is that it often goes unnoticed until it's too late. Unlike cholesterol levels, blood pressure spikes, or visible warning signs, stress works silently. It accumulates gradually, eroding resilience and energy, making the heart more vulnerable without immediate symptoms. The long-term impact is insidious. A heart attack might feel sudden, but the underlying damage has been growing for years, fueled by unmanaged stress. Recognizing the role of stress in heart health is the first step toward prevention. It's not enough to manage diet or exercise alone, mental and emotional well-being are equally critical. Techniques like meditation, deep breathing, prioritizing rest, and learning to say no to unnecessary pressures are not luxuries, they are essential habits that protect the heart. The goal is to reduce the constant activation of stress hormones and give the cardiovascular system time to recover, to repair minor damages before they escalate. The reality is that your heart is deeply connected to your mind. Every worry, every tension, every unresolved fear is recorded in your body, and if ignored, it can eventually lead to catastrophic consequences. Stress is not an abstract concept, it is a tangible threat to the life of your heart. A factor as real and dangerous as poor diet or lack of exercise, yet one that can be controlled with awareness and action. What you eat has a direct and powerful impact on your heart, far more than most people realize. Poor diet, especially the consumption of processed foods, sugary snacks, and fried items, is one of the leading contributors to heart attacks, and it works silently over time. Every processed meal, every sugary drink, every package of fast food you consume may feel harmless in the moment, but it begins a chain reaction inside your body that damages your heart without any immediate warning. Processed foods are often loaded with unhealthy fats, high levels of sugar, and artificial additives that inflame your arteries and elevate cholesterol levels. These substances slowly build up plaque in your blood vessels, narrowing them and making it harder for blood to flow efficiently. The heart, forced to pump harder against these blockages, becomes stressed, and over time, the constant strain weakens it. Sugar, in particular, is deceptively dangerous. Every time you consume high amounts of sugar, insulin levels spike, inflammation increases, and over time, this leads to insulin resistance and metabolic stress, both of which are directly linked to heart disease. Most people underestimate how damaging this can be because sugar is everywhere, in drinks, snacks, sauces, and even foods marketed as healthy. Fried foods and trans fats are equally harmful. These oils change the structure of cell membranes, increase LDL cholesterol, and promote inflammation in the blood vessels, accelerating the formation of clots that can trigger a heart attack. Eating poorly does not only affect the heart directly but also influences weight, blood pressure, and energy levels, all of which create additional risk factors for cardiovascular problems. People often justify unhealthy eating habits by claiming they are too busy, too tired to cook, or that it's just a treat. But what feels convenient today can lead to irreversible consequences tomorrow. Your heart does not recover from decades of poor nutrition overnight. It's not about one meal or one bad choice, it's about the cumulative effect of years of ignoring what goes into your body. The good news is that the solution is entirely in your control. Choosing natural, whole foods, vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, whole grains, and healthy fats, provides the heart with the fuel it needs to function optimally. Even small, consistent changes, like reducing sugar, avoiding fried foods, and cooking more meals at home, begin to reverse the damage and strengthen your cardiovascular system. The heart is incredibly resilient if given proper care, and diet is the most powerful tool you have to protect it. Unlike genetics, which you cannot change, the food you eat is a daily choice, and those choices accumulate, either for harm or for healing. Ignoring the effect of diet on heart health is like ignoring smoke while a fire quietly spreads inside, and eventually, if unchecked, the damage becomes impossible to avoid. Physical activity is not just a recommendation for a healthy lifestyle, it is a necessity for the survival and strength of your heart. The human body was designed to move, to walk, to run, to lift, and to stretch, yet in modern life, movement has been replaced with hours of sitting, commuting, and screen time. This lack of activity silently weakens the cardiovascular system over time, leaving the heart vulnerable to attacks and disease. Every day spent sitting for hours reduces blood flow, slows metabolism, and increases the risk of obesity, high blood pressure, and cholesterol buildup. The heart, a muscle that thrives on regular exercise, begins to lose efficiency when it is not challenged. Without regular movement, arteries become stiffer, circulation slows, and the risk of clot formation rises. Many people believe that occasional exercise is enough, but sporadic activity cannot undo the effects of prolonged inactivity. Consistency matters more than intensity. Even moderate, Daily activity keeps the heart strong, reduces inflammation, and improves blood pressure and lipid profiles. Exercise also plays a crucial role in managing stress, one of the most silent killers of heart health. Physical activity lowers cortisol levels, releases endorphins, and improves sleep, all of which contribute to a resilient cardiovascular system. In contrast, a sedentary lifestyle amplifies the effects of poor diet and chronic stress, creating a perfect storm for heart disease. People often underestimate how quickly inactivity can take a toll. Just a few years of neglect can weaken the heart, shrink muscle mass, and reduce the elasticity of blood vessels. The body adapts to inactivity by conserving energy, slowing circulation, and reducing the efficiency of oxygen delivery to tissues, which in turn forces the heart to work harder under normal conditions. The danger is compounded because the effects are largely invisible until serious problems arise. A heart attack may feel sudden, but inactivity has already set the stage for failure long before symptoms appear. The good news is that the heart is incredibly adaptable and responds rapidly to positive changes. Incorporating even small amounts of movement each day, walking, climbing stairs, stretching, or short bursts of exercise, improves circulation, strengthens the heart muscle, and enhances overall cardiovascular health. Regular activity also helps control weight, improve insulin sensitivity, and reduce the likelihood of developing high blood pressure, all critical factors in preventing heart attacks. It is not about running marathons or spending hours in the gym. It is about consistently challenging the body in ways that maintain heart function and resilience. In a society that rewards convenience, it takes conscious effort to prioritize movement, but that effort pays off in the form of a stronger, healthier heart. Ignoring activity is equivalent to slowly eroding the foundation of a house, leaving it vulnerable to collapse. The heart thrives when challenged and cared for, and it suffers when neglected, making daily movement one of the most powerful tools to prevent heart attacks and maintain long-term health. Preventive habits are the real solution to protecting your heart, yet most people underestimate their power because they seem small, ordinary, or slow to show results. The truth is, the choices you make every day, consistently over time, determine whether your heart thrives or becomes vulnerable to attacks. Sleep, for example, is one of the most overlooked factors in cardiovascular health. A lack of quality sleep increases blood pressure, elevates stress hormones, and impairs the body's ability to repair damaged cells, leaving arteries and the heart muscle more vulnerable. Many people sacrifice sleep for work, entertainment, or social obligations, thinking that a few lost hours here and there won't matter. In reality, chronic sleep deprivation quietly erodes the resilience of the heart. Alongside sleep, managing stress is critical. Stress is inevitable, but how you respond to it defines its impact on your cardiovascular system. Regular practices such as meditation, deep breathing, journaling, or even taking short breaks during the day allow the body to lower cortisol levels, relax blood vessels, and repair minor damage caused by constant tension. Preventive habits also extend to what you consume. Choosing whole, natural foods over processed, sugary, or fried items gives your heart the nutrients it needs to maintain strength, flexibility, and endurance. Every meal is an opportunity to either support or harm your cardiovascular system. Hydration, balance in macronutrients, and avoidance of harmful substances such as alcohol and tobacco are all part of this preventive framework. Exercise is another preventive habit that cannot be ignored. Consistent movement, even in small amounts, keeps the heart muscle strong, improves circulation, lowers blood pressure, and reduces inflammation in the arteries. Preventive exercise doesn't require extreme effort or long hours, it requires consistency, choosing movement as a daily priority, and understanding that every step, stretch, or moment of activity counts toward long-term protection. Monitoring health metrics such as blood pressure, cholesterol, and weight is also part of preventive care. Awareness is essential. When you know your numbers, you can take early action to correct imbalances before they escalate into serious conditions. Preventive habits are cumulative. They compound over time in ways that are almost invisible until a crisis is avoided. By committing to sleep, stress management, nutrition, movement, and health monitoring, you build a resilient system that is far less likely to fail suddenly. These habits create a buffer against genetic risks, environmental stressors, and accidental missteps that could otherwise overwhelm the heart. What makes preventive habits powerful is that they return control to you. While you cannot change the past or predict every future event, you can take deliberate steps today to shape the outcome of your health. Each habit, no matter how small, contributes to the overall strength of the cardiovascular system, making the heart more resilient and capable of withstanding the pressures of daily life. Consistency is key, because the heart responds to patterns over time, not isolated actions. The accumulation of small, intentional habits creates a level of protection that no medication or emergency intervention can replace, and it sets the foundation for long-term vitality and reduced risk of heart attacks.